When aero contractors, one of the leading airlines on the domestic routes, vacated the Nigerian skies on September 1, 2016, many were shocked because the death of the foremost airline after more than 50 years of operations came as a rude shock. When the Asset Management Company of Nigeria announced last week it was taking over Arik Air to save it from a looming death, many were not surprised, as analysts say this is the worst business climate in the history of civil aviation in Nigeria. With the naira oscillating between 498 naira and over 500 naira to the dollar, crew training, overseas maintenance and spares, which are hinged on the huge foreign exchange, are now tough to source. Will there be any more airlines left? That's the crux of our program. Welcome to Vision This Week on Channels Television. I'm Bukola Joe Oketumbi.
In 2015, the aviation industry contributed about 185 billion naira, just 0.4% to Nigeria's overall GDP, and supported 254,500 jobs. That's from a Phillips Consulting survey.
Aviation is critical, volatile, vibrant, oftentimes restive, if you ask me. But having said all of that, there is huge potentials and opportunity within the sector of aviation, especially when you look at tourism bit of it, and it connects also businesses and places and people. I think it's very, very important, a catalyst for growth and development, and also for making our economy much more robust.
While experts believe the industry is capable of doing more, domestic airline operators have cited lack of long-term funding at sustainable interest rates and unfavorable fiscal and monetary policy environment as major challenges to their survival. Inconsistent government policies, high taxation and levies from the government, as well as the ever-soaring price of aviation fuel, also adds to the burden.
There's no way we will be able to get out of this situation because we don't produce locally. We need to import. And if you are importing, you need to get the forex. So if the forex is not available, what do we do?
If you have a 20,000 naira ticket, 5% of it goes to NCA. NAMA still comes back to take some. FAN still takes some. At the same time, some of those services are not provided. I don't see the reason why I should pay for landing beyond 6 p.m. at any airport in Nigeria for me to pay any more charge. But I've been doing that. So what are they doing with the 2,000 or 1,000 naira they've removed from the ticket already for services they're supposed to provide? It's not my fault that you don't have enough staff to man the airports up to 7 or 8 o'clock. So, but airlines are being made to pay. Again, most of the airports in Nigeria do not have night landing facilities. So you find out that all our aircraft are AOG once it's 6 p.m.
While indigenous carriers have limited capacity and operate in a business with very low profit margins, passengers are quick to point out the deficiency of airlines, which include poor service, poor customer relations, and the lack of integrity of flight schedules. As airlines battle for survival, the Asset Management Company of Nigeria had earlier taken over aero contractors 2 years before its shutdown in September 2016, before returning to flight operations late last year. Just this week, another managing director, Captain Ado Sanusi, was appointed for the airline, which has since returned to operations, albeit skeletally. The former helmsman, Captain Fola Akinkoto, was moved by the federal government to head the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency. In the face of the AMCON takeover of Arik Air, with the government agency citing a 300 billion naira indebtedness and AMCON's need for 10 billion naira to turn the airline around, many industry stakeholders will be watching to see how AMCON will return Arik to the path of profitability.
Aviation cannot exist independent of the national economy, and Nigeria must create a better business environment for airlines or any other business to succeed, even if it's through a conversation. That's coming from a former airline co-owner and an economist.
The Nigerian business environment, in my own 40 years plus, is very negative to business. Very negative. Because if we take aviation in isolation, we might be missing a very vital point. Yes, aviation is the subject matter today, but look at manufacturing. Where are the Michelin of those years? Where is Dunlop? All the companies in Oregon producing PVC pipes for plumbing, for construction, where are they? They're all gone, and all those industries, they are now churches. So, every business hinges on factors of production. Factors of production. It's so important. So if we now narrow down to aviation sector, what are the factors of production in aviation? Number one, money. Pay emphasis on Nigeria money. You want to talk about one, exchange rate. Two, you want to talk about interest rates. Three, you want to talk about inflation. I read today that Arik is owing 300 billion or something like that, and that they will need 10 billion immediately, at least to get back. Looking at money.